Chris Wormley, the Whitmer grad, played at about 260 pounds when he was in high school. Now he's around 300 pounds, and you definitely notice that difference when you see him in person from last year to now.
It's allowed me to play as well as I've been playing this, the past 2 seasons here at Michigan. I think it just goes to show what if you work hard and you want to accomplish something that especially in a weight gain. If I was 260, I wouldn't be able to play the position that I'm playing. So I knew that I had to gain the weight, and it's been good weight, and it's just exciting to see the progress that I've made.
You made your commitment to Michigan early.
Mm-hmm.
The Buckeyes, were they in the mix at all?
Yeah, I remember I went to a few games with Kenny Hayes and Nigel Hayes. Kenny going there for his freshman year. We would go to games, and it was fun, but I felt like this was home, and this is where my heart was at all along.
Coach Madison still obviously with the program. How nice was it to see him stay on with the team from being a defensive coordinator with Brady Hoke to working with you still as a defensive line coach?
It was a familiar face when Jim with Coach Harbaugh and all the other staff came in. It was a familiar face, and it was nice to see him stay and be able to coach us. He's a great coach. He's a great guy. And we were used to how he coaches, so the defensive line as a whole, we were excited to see him stay.
And I imagine that comfort level, because he was involved with the recruitment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was at my house. My mom made him dinner. He was chilling on the couch. We watched the Ravens playoff game when he was over.
With the NFL potentially on the horizon, how nice is it to have a guy like Greg Madison to help you, a guy who's been there in the NFL?
Yeah, Coach Madison has coached Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and those type of caliber players, Haloti Ngata, especially on the defensive line. He knows what it takes to get there. He knows what it takes to stay there.
You're on track to graduate in May with your undergrad from here. You're going to stay on for a grad season here next year?
Yeah, that's the plan. Work towards that master's degree. Probably won't be able to finish it, but it's always nice to have a start or half a semester or a full semester of grad school under your belt.
Alan Gann, a guy from Southview. Well, we don't get to see him too much on the field, but what is he doing behind the scenes on the defensive side that helps the defense get ready for Saturdays?
The biggest thing is the special teams that he's been on. I think he might be on all 4 special teams starting, and just that is major. And then he gives the starters a breather when we're on defense, and you can trust him. That's something that's huge, especially when you're a backup. You have to have that trust as a backup to go in there and do the job well as the starter would do.
The defense is clearly different this year. Is it almost a matter of the offense is one of the reasons to thank for the defense being better this year, just getting off the field?
When you get off the field as a defense and you get 3 and outs and the offense goes for a 12-play drive and they score, it gives us a breather, it gives us a break, and then it allows us to have confidence in the offense to, even if we do let up a point or we do go on a long drive, they can bounce back and score as well.
Jim Harbaugh, obviously all eyes are on him this season. Can you put a finger on what the difference is from last year to this year, other than just the human figure being at the front of the room?
We're a year older, we're a year smarter, we're a year bigger, we're a year faster. And just, I think, being together for such a long time. We had a lot of guys play early on in their careers, and now that we're all juniors and seniors, we understand each other. We know it's kind of like chemistry, and we play really well together.
And that first day you met Jim, had a one-on-one conversation with him. What was that like?
I was kind of awestruck. You hear so many different things about Coach Harbaugh, especially with the 49ers. I kind of was, like I said, awestruck and didn't really know what to say. But now we've been together for 11 months, and I feel like I can talk to him about anything.
His dad was coaching and teaching in Perrysburg. He was born in Toledo. Have you touched on that at all?
No, not really. I didn't figure that out until probably right before the season. So I think after the season, that'll be definitely a conversation to have.
The Buckeyes, you've lost 3 straight to them. You've never beaten them. Why is this year different?
We have a lot to play for this year. The past 2 seasons have been close games, a lot closer than people expected, and I wouldn't expect this one to be any different.
How nice is it to have them here with the way things are going this season so well for you all?
Yeah, I think definitely having a home crowd advantage is huge, and having 112 or 13,000 people screaming for you and cheering for you is a big morale boost and confidence that you need as a team. The
Ohio State-Michigan game, you're a Toledo guy. Why is this game different?
Growing up, I've always been a Michigan fan, and we'd always have parties, and my parents would tailgate and go to the games. So I think it hits home a lot harder than it would, any other game.
Now that you're one of the leaders on the team, do you take it upon yourself as an Ohio guy to kind of set the tone for what it's going to take to beat those guys this year?
Yeah, I definitely think so. There's definitely things that you can tell guys or experiences or growing up and watching the game and going to the games. But if you're a Michigan man, you already know what this game's about, and if you played on it, you already know what it's about. So you have to take each game one by one and attack it like you would any other game.
And Wormley's hungry to end that losing streak that the Wolverines have against the Buckeyes, and Michigan's going to need him.
Here with former Mac Cummer Mac-Man and most importantly, a proud father of Trayvon Jackson. Have you been you've been able to sleep the last 2 days, knowing what's in store for Trayvon and the Badgers tonight?
You know what? This weekend is a lot of fun, and whether my son was here or not, just soaking up the memories when I played, the atmosphere. And now, 2 years in a row with my son, haven't gotten a lot of rest, but I don't care. I mean, it's well worth it.
Nigel Hayes, nice game the other night, 12 points. What does he need to do to maybe take that next step to help the Badgers cut the nets down tonight?
He can't allow maybe a missed shot or two to affect him being aggressive. I think sometimes that may happen. It was really good for him to have a bounce-back game because he hasn't been shooting the ball extremely well. Nigel has to be effective. He has to make impactful plays. And maybe it's not 20 points, but maybe it's 10, 12 points, 10 rebounds, a couple blocks, some assists.
Vito Brown, a guy we don't necessarily get a chance to talk a lot about, but with the way Bo Ryan works, guys staying in his system for 4 years, what is he learning now during these tournament runs the last 2 years?
A lot of discipline. I mean, because it's funny because his high school coach, Von Graffine, was my assistant coach, at Metcumber, who knew the game. But Bo takes it to another level, and he holds you accountable for your actions. And what Vito is learning is patience, how to become a better all-around basketball player, physically and mentally.
You mentioned patience. Obviously, we have a few more hours, so we have to be patient for this one. Let's send it back to you in Toledo. Here with Jason Candle, the new head football coach of the Rockets. How does that title sound?
Exciting. Looking forward to get going and getting started and being a part of something that I believe is a very special place.
Has it been a whirlwind few days for you? You were in Ames, now you're back in Toledo.
Tough couple days, but I think it's part of the profession, and it's part of what you kind of expect this when you sign up to be a Division I coach. Things worked out for the best, and I'm in a place where I really truly love and want to be.
Why is this a special opportunity for you? Obviously, you've been here for several years now, but now you're the guy.
Well, it's about what this community stands for. This is I'm born and raised in the northeast side of the state of Ohio, and that's where a blue collar mentality resides, and I know it's no different here. It's exciting to get going in a community that supports its team as well as this does, and the expectations are high. People want a winner, and we're going to try to deliver.
What was the message to the players earlier Wednesday afternoon? I know there's probably some uncertainty as to the direction of the program. You have a yet-to-be-determined bowl game, but now you have some continuity with you at the front of the room.
Well, I think there's a familiarity with those kids. It gives them something to get it kind of streamlined and back into a focus. When they come here, they know what they're supposed to be doing. They know what's being asked of them to do by the people in the building, which I think is a big deal. When you're 36 years old or 37 years old, you sometimes are uneasy when you don't know what you're supposed to do when you wake up in the morning. And I can only imagine what that's like for an 18 to 22-year-old man. So we're going to provide some stability, and we're going to get this thing going.
Now it's time for the bowl game.
No doubt. I'm looking forward to see who we play.
Bowl game announcement comes up later Sunday. Everybody, of course, happy to see Stacey Lewis back in Sylvania, but how difficult is it to come here, go to Northwest Arkansas when you have all these eyeballs and your lineage to these locations that come out, play, and do well?
It's difficult, but I think I've played here now in Toledo so many years. It's been a good experience. It's helped prepare me for U.S. Opens and big events like that. So, it seems every week there's eyeballs on me. So it's fun to be back and to see family and in a familiar place.
Good weekend last weekend. Nice run at the U.S. Open. Are you playing some of your best golf this summer?
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing some great golf right now. It's I wouldn't say it's easy, but I'm just kind of getting more into a groove, and I know how my game is. I know if I have a bad round or a bad day, I can always come back from it, and just getting comfortable in the position, comfortable with all the eyeballs and all the attention. It's been an adjustment, but I think I'm getting close to being there.
What's it going to take, I guess, to win here at Highland Meadows?
It always takes a lot of birdies on this golf course. The greens are running as good as I think I've ever seen them. So it's just depending on the weather. I mean, so far the forecast looks good for the week. So just obviously depends on the weather, and you got to make putts, got to make some birdies.
Joe here with Perrysburg head coach Matt Kriegel for our weekly chat here in Erie County. Glenville, their quarterback, he's put up some numbers this year, and I believe he only has 3 interceptions, so he's playing pretty well. How do you kind of contain that?
Well, he's a kid that can run and throw, so first of all, you've got to make sure that if he does break the pocket, you got guys in alleys and you're going to tackle him. And then we're going to have to pressure him some and try to force some bad throws. You know, he hasn't had a whole lot of pressure on him this year, so that's got to be part of our plan.
During the regular season, they allowed less than 10 points a game. You guys are obviously putting up a lot of points. What do you see that you can exploit with their defense?
Well, I think they are a high-risk defense. They're going to blitz. They're going to play man coverage. They're going to get after you. And if you can't handle the pressure, then you're not going to move the ball very well. So we got to handle the pressure. We got to get the ball to open receivers and move the ball.
This is the best team in school history you have right now in the regional championship, and we were talking earlier today and in the week, this is the most superstitious team you've had. You've even had to be really particular about what you tell these guys to keep the routine the same.
Yep, you got to say the same things. You got to do the same things. It has to be in the same order, and they will let you know if something's out of order and it's not what you did last week. So, you know, you don't mess with a streak, and these guys know exactly what to do every week.
Matt, appreciate your time once again. And Joe, of course, you don't want to mess with that streak. The only way to do that is pick up a win, and that starts at 7:30.